Main thing that we're going to talk about here, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me, my life story, my dreams, my passions, and then I want to get to know about you guys, how you guys are using Impact Hub to really make your dreams and your organizations happen, and then maybe, you know, combine forces and make a greater Armenia. So anyway, small introduction. You guys already know my name is Houry Gebeshian, first female gymnast to represent Armenia at the Olympic Games. And what I'm most known for is creating a gymnastics element on the uneven bars. You'll see it right here at the beginning, which is now named after me. It's this little band. Can you guys see? Should we turn down the lights?
Oh yes, sorry.
Here it is, it's slow mo. So, can you guys see? Should I keep going?
I can see it. I can see from here. But
Okay, cool. So I'll keep going. So, gymnastics element named after me, pretty cool. What my full-time job is and what actually makes me money is working in the hospital as a physician assistant. I deliver babies for a living, which is one of my passions. It doesn't say that. Oh, there we go. Cool. I deliver babies for a living. It's something I never thought I would do, but it's something I love.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, I work in medicine at home. And that is, yeah, what my training is in. And I also own my own business, so I'm a small business owner. But what my passion is gymnastics, and specifically Armenian gymnastics. So that's what I'm going to kind of tell you guys about today. So why would I choose here in Armenia and Armenian gymnastics over all of those other cool things that I do in the United States? Mostly because, like I was telling before, you know, I feel like my place and my purpose is here and using my small little community of gymnastics to hopefully improve some type of change, some type of culture here in Armenia. So for me, I grew up as an Armenian American, first generation Armenian American. I grew up in a pretty Armenian household, you know, spoke the language back then. Spoke the language, ate the food, went to school, all of that stuff till about age 6. And then I started going to American public school, where I stood out like a sore thumb, as you can see. I mean, that's not a good picture of me, but you know, I had the dark features, the crazy hair, all of that stuff that didn't make me fit in with my Armenian or my American friends, but I also wasn't quite really part of the Armenian community, so I couldn't really figure out who I was or what I was supposed to do. But lucky for me, I was good at gymnastics, and that became my home and somewhere that I was able to develop and flourish. So as I succeeded through my gymnastics career, I was approached by a family friend who worked for the Armenian gymnastics, or the Armenian Olympic Committee, and they said, hey, we need more females to compete and represent our country, because as you know, we have tons of weightlifters and wrestlers and boxers that are men, but not really very many girls or women competing. And instead of fixing the problem and encouraging the development of sport and women doing sport here in Armenia, they just found people from the diaspora to compete, and so here I am. It worked out for me. It gave me a ton of opportunities, which I will tell you about, but it didn't ever fix the problem that we have here. And so I was tasked to represent a country I knew nothing about, that I didn't speak the language of anymore, I had never been to, and kind of was just thrown into. And I thought, at that point, I was 20 years old, and I said, you know what, sure, why not? Like, let's just give it a try and see what happens. So the very first competition was actually the most important competition that I would have to compete at. It was the one that would qualify me to the 2012 Olympic Games. And this was my very welcoming committee at that competition. And as you can tell, they were thrilled. And this woman right here, she was supposed to be the coach that was assigned to me for the 2 weeks that I was to be competing at this competition. So, I got to lightened up a little bit, but not too much. But unfortunately, little did they know, I actually had a broken foot. I broke my foot a couple of weeks before this really important competition. And I knew in the back of my mind that I wasn't going to be able to compete the way that I wanted to the best of my ability. And I thought, you know what, this is my opportunity. I have to go. The nation is depending on me. I'm just going to try my best. And I did my best, and it wasn't that great. Spoiler alert, I did not qualify to the 2012 Olympics, or, my story would be over here. Yay! I did not qualify, and I did terribly. I did the worst I've ever done. I humiliated myself. I humiliated the Gymnastics Federation, and I felt like I humiliated the whole nation, but probably nobody even knew that I was doing what I was doing. But, and I thought, to myself, that was the worst experience of my life. I don't want anything to do with gymnastics ever again. So I quit. I walked away from the sport. And I decided to go into something completely different, which was medicine. So I went back to school, earned my medical degree, and through kind of a stroke of luck, I met my now fiance, who encouraged me to come back to the sport of gymnastics. And at that point, I was in the middle of my schooling. I was engrossed in wanting to, work in the hospital and work in healthcare. That was my new dream and my new passion. And I told him, I'm too old. At that point, I was 20 pounds heavier than I look now. So can you imagine 20 more pounds on top of me trying to flip my body around? It just wasn't going to happen. And excuse after excuse after excuse as to why I couldn't do it. And the more I talked to him, the more he kind of encouraged me that those reasons were ridiculous and they were stupid, and I should forget about all those things and actually just try again and see what happens. And so then the more and more we talked, the more and more I realized, you're right, that is stupid. Why am I holding myself back for ridiculous reasons? So from that moment forward, I changed my mentality and I decided I'm going to do everything in my power to compete now at the 2016 Olympic Games. So, when I called up the Armenian Gymnastics Federation, those, wonderful, welcoming people, they thought I was crazy and they were like, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for our country. I'm going to do this for myself. It's going to be awesome. And they were like, great, sure, fine, do it, but you're on your own. I said, okay, well, what does that mean? So I had to find my own gym to train in. I had to pay all of my own travel. I had to figure out how to get into shape. I couldn't find a coach, so I just trained myself. And I had to figure out how to make all the pieces fit in the 2 years that I had from that point to the Olympic Games. And so it seemed overwhelming, but I sat down and I made a plan. And so I wrote out all of my training plans, everything from inside and outside of the gym. I organized the routines that I had to get in order to be competitive at the Olympics. I created a diet that I would follow. And I made a strength and conditioning plan that would get me strong enough and healthy enough so I wouldn't be injured when I hopefully made it to the Olympics. And I was the only elite gymnast that you can find that coached myself, trained all by myself, day in and day out, and simultaneously worked full-time as a physician assistant in the hospital. Well, I'll make it a stream. Thank you. It was fun. It was challenging, but it was possible. And there really was no prouder moment than when I stepped out onto the competition floor, wearing our flag on my shoulder and Mount Ararat on my chest. Those 2 years leading up to the Olympics were some of the most challenging but most rewarding experiences of my life. And I'm so thankful that I actually took the leap and tried again. I never would have been where I'm at now had I not failed miserably, made an idiot of myself, decided, forget about that humiliation, just try again and go out there. I'm really thankful that I got over myself and was able to do it. But what's most important is that I'm an Armenian woman, and it was because of my heritage that I was able to accomplish all of the things that I'm able to do now. And I think that it is our job and our time to help improve the culture here in Armenia. For me specifically, I was recruited to do this because we didn't have women to compete in gymnastics. We didn't have women even, competing in any athletics. So changing that culture and improving that, I think is my job here. And I hope to encourage also general healthy living for everybody, because not everybody is going to be a gymnast, not everybody is going to be an Olympian, but we all can be healthy people, improving and encouraging change here in Armenia. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I am here in Armenia, like you said, for only 4 weeks, and I'm trying to network with as many people as possible to share my goals and share my dreams and kind of figure out who's going to be on my team to make these things happen. And so my 3 main goals, number 1 is to encourage a culture of healthy living here, through exercise, through sport, through healthy eating, all of that great, wonderful stuff. My second goal is to encourage the development of equal opportunities for girls and boys. So right now, just the way that things are, there's way more opportunities for boys than girls. And then the third one is focused in on gymnastics. I really want to develop women's gymnastics here in Armenia. The foundation is here. We just need to give them a little bit more resources. So how am I doing all those things? So 1, improving the culture, encouraging healthy living. I'm doing that by doing these types of talks. I spoke to the Yerevan State medical students. I spoke to the Co-op Smart Centers. I've been to elementary schools, all sorts of people to spread the word of healthy living, making the right choices on what to eat, exercising or walking instead of taking the taxi, or the bus or whatever it is. Not smoking, drinking in moderation, those types of things. If I can impact one person to make a change, maybe that one person will impact somebody else. If I could impact, the doctors that I talk to, maybe they can, talk to their patients and impact those to then impact the rest. That's the idea for goal number 1. Goal number 2 is giving more opportunities to girls and women here. And so that comes with the government, talking to the different ministries, seeing what's in place and trying to really push for giving those same opportunities for girls as they are for boys. And then the last one is developing our women's gymnastics program. So clearly look how cute they are. They're awesome, good girls here in Armenia that are talented. They just don't have the resources, mostly because they're working under the men and the men's federation, and we're not our own entity. And these are the conditions that they're working in. That's a trampoline. Who would want to jump on that thing? That looks scary. It should look like this, nice and safe. And that's, their balance beam that they're working on. And there's no padding, there's no leather, it's unsafe, it's scary. That's what it should look like. So things like that, these girls have the drive, they have the passion. They just need a little bit more time spent with them, and that's my mission. That's what I'm here to do, is spend that time. And after networking and talking to a whole bunch of different people, it sounds like the way to do that is create my own NGO. So the idea is to create my own NGO, base the model kind of like how Goals has based their model, reach out to the regions to encourage healthy living through sport, which is my sport of gymnastics. And then as we increase the culture of gymnastics, create regional centers for little baby gyms for kids to go to, and then ultimately a national training center probably here. And again, that would take a ton of time, but you have to have a dream, you have to have a vision for it to go somewhere. And so that's what I'm doing, and I really feel like my center will be not just for gymnastics, but a place to encourage healthy living. So things will be encouraged for mental health. There'll be like yoga, meditation, gymnastics, nutrition, who knows what. I have grand ideas, but I don't know where to start and what to do. So that's why I'm here, to kind of talk with you guys, to see how you guys started, what your ideas are, how to be involved in this community to move forward. And so for me, this was me way back when, before I had these grandiose dreams and before society kind of infiltrated my mind, telling me that I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, and I thought that growing up, I couldn't accomplish my dreams because I wasn't a true Armenian, or I wasn't a woman, or whatever it was. I was just too afraid to step outside of the box. But now, I've grown, and I would like to say matured, and I believe that, I can do these things, and I'm encouraged to make change, and I'm really hoping to work with all of you so that we can make whatever our dreams are possible together. So that's it. That's who I am.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so that's my life story.
And what's
I don't
next?
know
So
about
what's
you.
immediately next?
Immediately next, I have Armenian dance class.
Okay.
I hope to make it to. But yeah, I'm only here in Armenia for 1 more week.
Okay.
But with all of the networking that I've done, I will be back here to hopefully implement whatever this NGO is that I'm going to create. But I think, step 1, create an NGO. Step 2, step 1, figure out what my name is going to be for my NGO. Step 2, make an NGO. Step 3, I don't know, find a team to make it happen, to make whatever this dream is happen. So.
Do you think the NGO will be open this year?
I have no idea. I'm right at the beginning here. I mean, you tell me. You guys have started your own companies or your own NGOs. I mean, how does it work? You tell me.
So sorry, I have a question now for you. But
Yes.
can you leave your job there and come back? No.
So the thing that's holding me back is my job. So I have student loans that I owe the government and that I need to pay off. So I have about 6 more years to pay those off. But if you guys know any really rich private, donors that want to pay off my loans, then I could be here faster. But I think, in the interim, I can create the NGO. I can get the team together. I can start building the pieces.
Virtually, you do that virtually?
Yeah, and then once I'm done, we can start the building process. We can start, whatever it is. I just have to start somewhere. So.
I don't want to talk. I want to give other things, but I have other things to say.
In the US, I know in the UK, if you don't pay your
Student loan.
Loan for a certain amount of time, after that you are free to pay.
I don't think that works like that in the United States. Because somebody will be very mad at not getting $100,000. But I wish. That'd be great.
Houry, I have one suggestion.
Yes, please.
Since we are all about impact of, I'm sure Armand explained focusing on social innovation and social entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I would, NGO is great, but think about those people that can pay a membership, and then so you can have those kids that cannot pay covered. So I think that will help because you will need to have a team. I'm sure there will be maintenance and you will have costs. So having some income coming from those that don't have a problem of paying the small fee.
Yeah.
And then those that really cannot, but you still want to have them, you make it free for them, for example. Just an idea.
Yeah. That's how it works in the States, right?
Exactly.
A business model of your tuition pays for whatever the organization is.
Okay, great. Because when you said NGO, I thought maybe you wanted to be completely for free, and that's why.
I again, I don't know like socioeconomically how it is here in Armenia, but I think, almost everybody, if they want to go to like a good school, they'll pay to go to a private school, or if they want to do sports, go to a private, institution. So I think people do pay for memberships and things. So yeah, I think it's reassuring to hear from you, because again, I don't know like, what the socioeconomic status is here, but if people are willing to pay, then great.
I think it's good to have. Like, kind of give them who cannot pay an opportunity, but also I'm sure I don't know what others think, but
it depends. If it's in the regions, I'm not sure if there will be people who will pay and take the service because they cannot, and also if they say okay you can pay, they say okay, the parents say no, you don't
I'm not
pay.
gonna do
Yeah. But maybe in the Yerevan capital it would do.
We'll adventure in that when I get there.
but you're thinking to start from here.
No, I'm actually thinking of starting in the regions, kind of like how Tolus has.
Yeah.
And I have a bus idea. It's called the gym bus. And the gym bus travels to the regions.
Amazing.
Yeah. We have it in the States, so it's not a new idea. But I think, making it as accessible as possible to as many people as possible is the way to do it. And then as more people love doing gymnastics, then we build like small gyms all around. And then eventually we have kids that are great and are developed, they need somewhere to go, bam, national training center here.
Very good.
So that's my business plan.
Very good. Very good.
So what about your own competitions?
Oh, I'm done. I'm retired from gymnastics.
What is the age for?
You can compete as long as you want. The limit is age 16, but you can be as old as you want. The average age right now is age 20.
So when you went to 2016 Olympics, you were how old were you?
I was 27.
Yeah. So can you be older than that and still submit for the Olympics and pass? Okay,
You just have to be good enough.
that's good.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah, there's a limit.
there is like ridiculously young age, and after that you cannot.
No. The reason why there used to be the culture of like really small kids, like before puberty, that situation, was because we had gymnastics as like a artistic, like long, lean lines, Now gymnastics is actually more of like a powerful sport, and we encourage, women to actually go through puberty so that they can build their muscle mass and actually like do the big tricks and the flips and all of that stuff. So the culture has changed a little bit. And now, like I said, the average age is about 20, 21. But there is a woman, her name is Oksana, and she is like 43, and she's been to like 7, 8 Olympic Games. She's really great. So, if I could, I would still be doing gymnastics if somebody paid me to do it. But, I did all of this, for free, and I, held a job so I could fund myself with some travel and, gym fees and all of that. It adds up, so.
Because you get the support from the government, have you?
From what I understand, the government really doesn't support much of anything. So, which is, I think, like something also that needs to change. Like, of course, there's these awesome NGOs all over the place. I was talking to Logan about it. But like, what if these NGOs actually invested in like the public system, the government system, and then brought, the country up that way? And that's the idea of my private NGO or whatever. Eventually, it will feed into a system, a national team system that is run by the government, that the government, benefits from. So.
I have a question about Armenian Armenian diaspora, have they been supportive or have you asked them for support?
Yeah, they were. So the first time I asked for support was when I was training for the Olympics, right? Because I was doing it all on my own. And then I realized, there's a bigger problem out here, way greater than myself. And so I, reached out, again, networked, and people, especially I think the diaspora, want to help. They want to help, they just can't physically be here. So I would say yes, they were super supportive and want to be a part of it. So I'm hoping that they're still supportive and still want to be a part of it, because now I'm finally, taking the steps to improve where we're at and do something bigger than myself.
The name of the movement, is it after your surname or your full name or just
my last name, whatever, is that surname? Okay, yeah, usually you can name it whatever you want. It could be named who knows what. But usually gymnastics elements are your last name. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, we talked about this a little before. How do you evaluate the sports and the physical activity, healthy lifestyle in Armenia, and what would need to be done by the government or the people, NGOs, whoever, to make it more active?
Yeah. Well, I personally think that it needs to be incorporated into the public school system. Education of, just general healthy living, diet, exercise, hygiene, whatever it is, wound care, just basic daily living things. Education needs to be incorporated into the education system. And it could just be one health class. That health class can encompass, everything that has to do with health. It can be your physical education. It can be your nutrition. It can be your sexual education. It can be all of these different things. It just needs to start somewhere. And so I'm trying to get in to talk with the Minister of Health and the Minister of Education to see if that's something that we can implement. Because from what I understand, gym class or physical education class is the very last class of the day, and it's optional. And if you want to go, you just go.
It's just basically doing nothing at that hour.
And so then you also see kids smoking because it's the culture. It's something that you do. And so I think it needs to be involved in the public school system. But again, it has to go from the culture and the people here wanting to involve that in their school systems. That's what I think. That's what I'm hoping to get inside their minds. But again, let's see.
It's changing. Slowly, but it's changing.
Hey, we're a brand new country. We're not, but we kind of are. And I think especially post-revolution, we're brand new. So it will come. But I think the more and more people that kind of push the envelope, the more it will happen.
Very true.
I'm hoping to be one of those pushers. Very, very pushing.
Good luck.
Thank you. Who wants to push with me?
You're about to love that grant, right?
Yes. Well, thank you.
What time is your dance?
I'm good. I got 20 minutes.
Perfect. You're gonna make it.
Yeah. No rush though. I'm here to chat with you guys. This is your guys' time.
This is not your first time.
This is my third, but my two first times, I was only here for 5-6 days, and it was just to get my citizenship and the paperwork so I could compete for Armenia. And then I felt okay, I did this for the country that I don't even feel I'm a part of, what's going on? And so now I'm here trying to actually immerse myself in the community and the culture and really feel like I'm part of something. So, very good. All right.